Hello everyone, it's Cynthia with another daily tarot card of the day, and we're here with the Shaman wisdom cards this week. I've got information about this deck in the description box below. I'm going to take a moment to tune into the general collective energies for today. These messages are timeless, so whenever you happen to find this video and you're inspired to watch, there's likely a message here for you. But, of course, take what resonates and leave the rest of it behind. Tune into your own intuition, your own inner guidance, your own higher self, your own spirit guides, so that whatever card does come up, maybe you receive your own personal messages and insights that suit you clearly. And these cards have been bringing through a channel of my guides with the nature spirits that has been like super high vibe, super adamant, super loving, super sharing and optimistic, and the energy has just been so strong this week with this deck, and it's absolutely beautiful, and I completely love it. Let me know in the comments if any of this is landing for you on any given day. Or if with the cards that come up, you have some kind of insights or messages for the collective, or information that you would like to share regarding the card that comes up. Because I tune into that channel and there's only so much I can get out, and there's certain nature spirits that are coming through stronger than others. I'm definitely getting more, and perhaps it's the deck. I'm definitely getting more of the plants though, and seeing energy systems like from the natural world. It's almost like Gaia consciousness, but like I'm not picking up so much on like fairies and stuff like that. Fairies and nature spirits of that sense. I'm picking up on like trees and plants, like the elements, trees, plants, water, soil, minerals, rocks, and the cosmos kind of energy. Not so much with like plants, or things of that nature. In any case, the coyote, that playful critter. West Feminine Earth, number 18. Coyote. Coyote generally has some trickster energy, but they are very nurturing and playful. And they're almost, I just heard the word Hakoya. Hayoka? That warrior spirit who would like ride into battle backwards. Trickster energy. But not for the sake of tricking and manipulating. And it's in its shadow aspect, or ego mind aspect, or fear aspect. The trickster energy can be having selfish motivations and intentions, and be utilizing that energy in order to gain power over, gain dominance over, or manipulate people and situations or energies. Another layer of the trickster energy is almost like bait and switch. It's not coming from a selfish place, it's coming from a strategic place in order to effect a change. I don't know why because I used to use the term bait and switch when my kiddos were babies, but sometimes if you have a breastfeeding mom and baby falls asleep, but you try to unlatch them and put them in their bassinet or something like that, and they wake up easily, every baby's different. Every person is different, right? So for those times, or for those particular personalities, would do what I would call a bait and switch, where you get the little binky. It might be, but you get the little binky and you kind of sideswipe it. So in order to unlatch them from mom, you're getting them to latch onto the binky. And it's kind of like, so again, but that's a strategy. It's a process. It's not coming from selfishness. It's coming from, this is how we move through the process, right? So there's that trickster energy that comes in almost as like a strategic move in order to create progress or change or growth in some fashion. Having a clown cheer up kids in a sick ward at hospital because, laughter energizes the immune system. Not to mention it lightens the heart and it dissipates fear and it creates a space where even for a moment, that's another one, right? The clown, the fool, the trickster energy, right? Putting into a situation that could be almost, mentally and emotionally toxic and or traumatizing, and having that burst of trickster light actually gets the body and the nervous system and the mind and the heart to respond differently and to have some space, some breathing room to lighten the darkness, right? So, and that's a strategy. That's not coming from selfishness. That's coming from a place of trying to move things. So then, like the warriors who would ride into battle backwards, holding the shield backwards and, sitting backwards on the horse. It is a strategy to stun and unnerve, quote unquote, the enemy. How it works, what's the motivation and intention behind it, how is the quote unquote enemy or other side being defined in situations like that, or in any situation where you've got a dichotomy that you feel like you have to battle against, right? Strategy, the trickster energy. I mean, Fox can give strategy energy as well. But Coyote has a level of playfulness and has a level of, again, there's a lightheartedness to the trickster. In its shadow aspect, it can be manipulative, and it has to do with motivation and intention. So I'm getting very much like either you need to strategize in order to see your way forward for the betterment of yourself, for the betterment of your sphere of influence, whether it's at work or with the family or in a community, in terms of how you're doing this. Or you might have to bring some playfulness and lighthearted. I just listened to someone else channel last night, and they were talking about how playfulness and laughter can also lighten the dark spaces. And that's kind of like the energy that I'm getting here, really. I'm not picking up on there could be surrounding influences or circumstances that you're witnessing where it appears that someone else might be manipulative. All is not as it appears. So whether you're thinking someone else is being manipulative, what's their motivation and intention, you can safely make that judgment call when you know that your boundaries are being pushed. But that doesn't mean you have to attach a label to that individual. It just means you have to get out of their space, away from their influence, and reassert your own sovereignty, your own influence on your sphere, on what you can, which is pretty much yourself, and perhaps your immediate environment, right? So it's about bringing your energy back from that, so as it doesn't get caught up in a manipulation. But there's also this sense with that, bringing in playfulness and lightheartedness, trickster energy, in order to, again, lighten the darkness, okay? If the external world appears dark, you have to go inward and shine that light and express it out. And that disperses the darkness, right? So be a light within yourself. Be lighthearted. Who's the Egyptian god with the scales? Is that Mot? She's goddess of justice. Is she the one that has where she weighs your heart against a feather at death? I'm getting that imagery here. So I don't know if that's specifically significant to someone, or if it's just that idea of you might need that visual of what's truly lightheartedness is, you know, being, it's being light of spirit, light of mind, light of emotions, right? So remembering those moments and inviting that in appropriately, given a situation, can also be a strategy. You know, public speakers who intro and give a summary or synopsis real quick, or at least intro who they are, and then crack a couple of jokes. It's to, like, that quote unquote icebreaker. It's to break the ice. It's to lighten the air a little bit, or to calm their own nerves. It's a strategy, and it's a well-renowned strategy. Comedians, how they actually write their jokes. I mean, they don't sit up there and throw out a string of riddles and knock-knock jokes. They tell stories, you know what I mean? And it doesn't matter if they're doing observational humor or opinionated humor or this, that, the other thing. But, you know, comedians, the way that they write jokes, there is a process. There's a formula for expressing, because it's the expression and the delivery of their story, or even a specific word choice in the story, that is one of the things that makes it relatable and funny. And there's a strategy to that. And any performer would tell you there's a strategy to how you invite in the audience, and how you sense how the audience feels, and what you would bring up. Again, not just entertainment, but lightheartedness, playfulness, enjoyment, right? So this coyote energy is talking about strategizing in that way, bringing in playfulness and lightheartedness when and where appropriate, but not forgetting it, not thinking that it's never appropriate. And then there's those who use humor all the time to dispel uncomfortable feelings because they have a hard time. So they're the clowns. They're always trying to, they're at family dinner, right? Or they're part of the friend group. They just do this like wild, goofy stuff, or they crack the most ridiculous jokes just to get a laugh, because if they weren't laughing, they would have to sit in the depths of current circumstances, past experiences, unresolved this, that, the other thing, or, empathic. Like, they've resolved their stuff, but they're empathically, to an extent, but they're empathically picking up from others and don't know how to process that, right? And so, again, there could be that type of an energy, and you might have that energy, or you might be witnessing that energy, and recognizing, like, appropriate humor and playfulness, that's lightheartedness. That's what brings the light to the darkness. And so Coyote reminds us, not everything is as it seems. Motivation is and intention is important. And if you can't discern or another, you have to discern your own and trust your own instincts. And nurturing the inner divine light, playfulness and lightheartedness, in order to shine your light in the dark for those around you and within your sphere of influence. But it always starts from the inside out. We are not effective in the external world if we don't tend our own light and our own energy first. And then it naturally shines out. And we co-create better interactions with one another in that fashion, whether that has to do with your spouse or your kids or your pet or your boss or your coworker or your parents or your cousins or your friends or the, person at the grocery store or the post office or the neighbor down the street. It doesn't matter. Yourself, light bright, shining out. And there's a more honest interaction when you walk into darkness, when you walk into other light, when you are in different situations, different environments, and surrounded by new things, new people. I wish you all wonderful peace and blessings. Remember your playfulness and lightheartedness. Travel lightly, my dear ones. Travel lightly, no matter where you go in life. Whether you're going from the kitchen to the living room, or down the street, or across the world. From one moment to the next, from one day to the next. Carry your heart lightly. Shine your light brightly. Balance that playfulness. Helps with grounding too. And don't assume that you know anything other than your own boundaries and your own energies, because things change all the time, moment to moment. So wishing you all greatness, lots of peace and blessings. Thank you so much for being here with me. I love you all, and I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. And if you know Coyote and you feel inspired to share, use the comment section below. You're welcome to let us know what Coyote says to you, if you would like, if it's not too personal or if it's general enough that you think it might be useful to others, or if you feel like sharing something a little bit more personal. That's entirely up to you, 100% your discernment. Sometimes our personal stories with close friends can be useful to others in terms of identifying common ground. Peace and blessings. Look forward to seeing you tomorrow.